culture of the
We're
podcast.
recording and now. Welcome to this week's edition of Movie Club.
Hmm.
This week we're reviewing a. Oh wait, let's catch up with everybody.
Yeah, Atticus looks so adorable. Atticus and Luke both look so adorable with your little beanies and your little headphones.
Brothers for real.
And
Thank you,
he's
Eliza.
mute. So I was watching the cyclocross world championships today, and
Yeah.
there was a. Let me bring it up. There was a company. One of the sponsors was a company called Big Bobble Hats.
Big
Big
bobble
bobble
hat.
hats.
Yeah,
You looking it up?
yeah.
Time for a
You
shower.
gonna show us?
Big.
Did your hair ever get that smell?
Ah!
What?
What's that? Big Bobble. B-O-B-B-L.
Yo, Dad, where's your beanie?
I don't wear beanies. I told you.
I have a picture of you when you put the pillow in your. Remember, you put a pillow under your shirt and you came in pretending you were a robber and you scared the dogs.
Maybe that's a long time ago.
Me.
I remember when he would put like a pillow under his shirt, and he would come out looking all shady, and the dogs would freak out. You'd be like, "Who is this hooded figure?"
Yeah.
Share screen. It's just that they have they're ski caps, but they have
Big bobbles. I'm looking at them.
oh yeah,
Mm.
they got the big buff.
Wait, those are kind of fun. Maybe I'll get one.
Yeah, well, do it and support them. If you get one of these with the rainbow stripes on it because it's World Championships. And Matthew Vanderpool won the World Cyclocross Championship today.
Oh, nice. I've been on Etsy. They've got some really, really cute balaclavas.
Are you talking about like the brick or like the dessert?
No, I think I messed it up at first a little bit. I think I said baklavas first, but what I meant was balaclava.
So you're talking about like a neck thing?
Yeah. They're so cute. They're crocheted in all different colors, and they're really.
I bought this thing from GCN, who's a global cycling network. I'm just to sponsor them, right? Because they're a good little company that brings European cycling to the United States.
God bless. Thank goodness.
Right?
What would you do without them?
But they literally had something on the that they were selling that was called the red neck thingy. So it's basically a gator. That's what they call it.
I love that.
The red neck thingy.
That's hilarious.
I mean, that's what it was, red neck thingy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so how was everybody's week?
Oh, wonderful!
You had a big week, huh?
Thoroughly
right?
gassed about my week. Done with my bad job.
Yeah, boo, bad job.
All jobs are good. You just have to find the right thing about it.
Okay.
No, shut up with that stupid toxic ass shit, dude. Some jobs can be bad. Like,
some
and
jobs
it's fine.
can be bad. I was getting paid fine, but it was literally just a horrible environment. It wasn't even worth it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the
like
silver.
Go ahead, Eliza. Sorry.
I was gonna say maybe his dad's saying like find the silver lining. Maybe the silver lining of this job was that it was so bad that now the freedom of it is so packed full of joy and gratitude because Luke never has to do it again. Maybe that's the silver lining.
It's true. Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
But Dad, I was trying to help you out, man.
I know. You try. Good job. Good try. We had an ice storm here in Dallas-Fort Worth area, which was quite interesting.
Did your power go out?
No, thank God. No, we did. Ours did not go out. There was some around the area that went out, but nothing as bad as a couple of years ago. And the thing is, supposedly we're on the hospital grid. And so if our power does go out, they bring they like
everybody in the hospital dies. You know,
pretty much, right? No.
Oh God,
no,
isn't that one of the things about like Katrina that was so terrible?
Well, there was a movie and a book, actually a great book, not as good of a TV series, but a great book called 5 Days of Memorial, where the power, the flooding goes and they all get trapped by the flood of the hurricane and what happens in there. And it really is. Whew, you talk about what happens when, rules and what you have to do. And, because it's interesting because they would have a routine of friends and family members and pets would come to the hospital to ride out the hurricane. Yes. Speaking of pets, to ride out the hurricane, just to be on the safe side because they didn't want to leave them at home because they didn't know what was going to happen where they were. So they bring them with them to the hospital. Well, they were fucking trapped and they didn't have water for people. So obviously they didn't have water and food for pets. So they had to start euthanizing the pets.
Oh
They had
my
to they
God.
had to kill their own pets because they were like, we're not getting saved. We're not getting
How did we
rescued.
get to this?
Oh, she asked about it anyway.
Oh,
How'd your week go? And you got to mass pet euthanasia pretty quick.
Oh
So
yeah.
I need to ask.
Hey, that's movie club, man. That's movie club. That's how we.
It is?
That's how we roll.
We find the most.
Not if I have a preference.
Dude, you'll be talking about ingrown toenails here in like 5 minutes.
Well, that's different. That only affects one person.
Raise your hand if you have an ingrown toenail.
Not right now. I'm free.
Wow, how'd you get on a
Yeah,
separate
I'm
progress.
free as well.
Yeah.
But
I've been really taking care of my health.
I don't want to bring us back to the pets, but I'm sorry. Why ran out of water? Wasn't there like an insane amount of water coming from the sky? We couldn't
Not
have
clean water.
Yeah, not clean water.
clean when it rains.
No,
it's not.
No. You got to read this book or watch this series. I think it's on Apple.
Wait. So no, this sounds important. So I can't. It's not safe to drink rainwater.
No.
If you catch it in a bucket, it's coming straight from the sky. You can't drink that water.
Well, I'm pretty certain that when the hurricane comes through, they're not like, you know what, we did collect some of this.
They're more interested in saving their lives.
Well,
than
it sounds like
catching rainwater. They didn't think they were going to be there.
They weren't doing that.
No, they didn't think they were going to be there for 5 days. They thought everything was going to be fine, and in fact, they were fine until the levees broke. And also, while we're talking about Katrina, if you haven't watched the HBO documentary, "The Day the Levees Broke," or "When the Levees Broke," man, you should watch it. That's one of the greatest documentaries. Spike Lee joint.
Spike Lee
just fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. So
I think I know enough. I got the gist of what happened. I think that's enough.
I'm interested in that. In the right mood, I think I could be into that.
all right.
Speaking of the right mood, I'm doing good. I did not go into this movie with the right mindset.
You didn't? What mindset did you go into it with?
Well,
did you bring a lot of snacks.
No, I didn't. I should have brought more. Honestly,
Bro,
I should have brought some pizza.
Snacks.
No, I got like violently high before I went to go see it.
What?
Like, and Lil and I watched it at like 10 o'clock this morning.
Oh,
and
Atticus, are you okay?
I was fading in and out, man. Like,
you fell asleep?
Yeah, like a little bit.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Dude, it was a heavy movie in more ways than one.
Yeah. Okay. You know what?
So let's get on to the review.
Sorry.
So Eliza, tell us about the movie. It was a heavy movie.
So the whale is about what?
Well, you're laughing because he said it was a heavy movie.
And then oh my God. I swear, if people can't get their shit together, I'm gonna bail on this podcast. Buckle up, listening behavior.
Yes.
All right.
So this movie, The Whale, is about a man, Charlie, who is in his last 5 days of life. And he is having his like cardio. He's gonna have a heart attack essentially.
Congestive heart failure.
And it's the story of him trying to make peace with his life and like find, I don't know. I think just find some closure in areas where he feels like he doesn't have closure. And it's such an intimate, like it's it's like you're watching it happen in your own family or with people you know. It's like you're there. I thought it was incredible, personally. I it was so hard to watch, but at the same time, like, it was so tender and gruesome and, like, heartbreaking, but in a way that I enjoyed, and found very cathartic, and I just thought it was beautiful and terrible all at once.
Okay.
You know, that's exactly how I described it when some of my friends asked me how it was. I said it made me thoroughly uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but it definitely put me in my feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like so much of it was showing you we all have these private behaviors, or like even the scenes with binge eating. I mean, I've definitely had times where I've emotionally eaten and completely binged, and the thought of how like gruesome that might look from the outside if somebody was watching you. And it was just, I don't know, I think it was very bold. I thought Brendan Fraser did such a good job of like acting as though he was alone in his apartment in these moments when he's not. I don't know. It was so I'm still trying to, because I just came from seeing it. And so I'm still trying to maybe distill how I feel about all of it. But I'm a mess. Yeah. Atticus, from the parts you saw, what did you think?
It was super emotional. I mean, like I felt the worst for his nurse. Like what? I
Liz.
can't.
Liz.
And
Liz,
like,
she was a real one though. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
give her a little money, bro. Like that.
Yeah,
It
it was
just
kind of fucked
like
up.
it's like her brother dies, right?
Mhm.
He's dead, and then her bet. Like I feel like her relationship with her best friend was tainted. Like I felt the worst for her. That her character made me the saddest. Like that. Like
Mm.
Charlie, like yeah, like is pretty sad, you know, and like and I get it,
Yeah.
but like yeah, I think Liz fucked me up more. Like just like all of
Yeah.
yeah, because
But
it's just
why
like
was
she's got to keep living. Oh, sorry, Dad. Go
no?
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Why? So here. Let's talk about the story and the structure itself.
Mm.
Why was Liz enabling Charlie? What was her motivation for that?
Have you ever enabled
Honestly,
anybody in your life?
I I don't think so, other than myself. But why was she? Why was she helping him kill himself? That's what I don't understand. That's the part of the movie I don't understand.
Maybe it's
Because
like maybe it's resentment towards like she can't get back at her dad, so but she could get back at Charlie, and maybe she does harbor guilt against him
And that's
for
the
Alan
only
dying.
and I think that's the only piece I can come up with. That's
well,
really
sometimes
the
you just
Or
can't
she
control
can't bear
people.
to not give him what he asks for.
or she was just tired. Like, yeah, and she just didn't have it in her to fight with him. Like that I think that's probably the most realistic answer.
but how is she get taking his blood pressure and then giving him two meatball subs and then having to give him the Heimlich maneuver and then still giving him more food. You know what I mean?
Have you ever been with somebody who's like a drug addict or addicted to anything at all?
I I get that, but
It's
I get that. I understand. I guess I just don't understand why she could have walked away. I don't understand why she
Yeah,
just
but
didn't
she
walk.
cared about him.
it's
But
really hard to not give somebody
I
the thing that they want. And I
I
think
under
that's harder than it. I completely understand her motivation.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
I understood that too.
and
He
I
knows
didn't
he's
struggle
gonna
with that.
die. Just let him eat the stuff he wants to eat that
that
week.
well, and there is that for sure.
He
That
obviously refuses any sort of help, right?
yeah.
Like that's like a large part of it is that he won't even go see a doctor.
But she still enabled him when she realized he had money for healthcare.
But at that point, Dad, the way I
Yeah.
was taking it, at that point, that money to be put towards the doctor isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
And I think deep down, she's known that he's slowly killing himself just the way that her brother killed himself.
Yeah.
And I think that she understands the loss of Alan and the heartbreak that that brings to her, she might be dealing with it by obsessing with trying to caretake for Charlie, and Charlie's dealing with
Yeah.
it by binge eating and like killing himself slowly. And it's like, it doesn't make sense, but she's not perfect. Like, take for example, she can tell him all day, like, don't eat this, go to the hospital, do all this stuff. She's a nurse, and we see her smoke cigarettes how many times in this movie? Like, I think she's a flawed
Valid.
human being. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's we know the things that we should be doing to be healthy. I think everybody here does something.
We know the things we shouldn't be doing too.
Yeah, and you still do it. It's human nature, right? Yeah, take a drink, right? Like, I'm having my sugar-packed, caffeine-packed energy drink. You know what I mean? Like, we all have these vices, and one of the things that moved me a lot about this movie is that every single character had their bullshit. And we were the most repulsed by Charlie because physically you could see his. And that to me what was so moving about it.
I think the worst person in the movie, the pizza guy. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
fuck
that
fuck
guy.
Hell
him.
no. Dan was
Like-
a real one.
No, fuck Dan,
No,
dude.
no,
Dan
no.
was not a real one.
Huh?
How come?
Pizza guy?
Because when it came down to it, he manifested everything that Charlie was afraid of, like society turning on him, judging him for the way that he looked, like, and it was a person that Charlie thought, like, it was the last person Charlie thought cared about him was this pizza guy, like,
Yeah.
you know.
No,
what I mean?
the worst person in the movie was Ellie. I
Oh.
mean, the daughter.
Yeah, I
was
agree.
The
I think
worst.
like the person
The
who-
pizza guy was just curious. He's just like, who is that guy bringing pizzas all the time? What?
But he was such a metaphor, I thought, for
Yes, no, I agree. But
that's exactly what he was afraid of. And I
So
I hate all of his fucking students as well. I can't like and
what's wrong with
you know
the
what?
students?
I'm one of
I'm
them.
sure not all of them.
Right? Like if my
No.
teacher started doing that, then I would like be taking pictures, all this stuff. Like, but he's trying so hard to help these people, and they just, I don't know, it pisses me off. I was
Honestly-
so. Oh, go ahead, Lukey.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think Charlie is like an A1 person on the inside.
Yeah.
Of course he is. Yes.
He was awesome. I like simultaneously strive to be Charlie while simultaneously not trying to
He
be Charlie.
really-
If you get what I'm saying.
I do, but he also drove me so crazy. Oh, go ahead, Dad.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Leaving Las Vegas?
No.
Oh,
The Nicolas Cage movie.
yes.
Yeah.
So did
I've
this
lived
remind
it.
you of that a little bit? I mean,
Yeah,
the fact
it just.
he
Yeah, it.
is going to destroy himself no matter what. It doesn't matter. I'm going to drink myself to death. I'm
Yeah.
going to sell everything, and I'm just going to die. And
Well, I
there's
think
no,
that's
there's
like-
no saving them. There's when somebody
Yeah.
makes that decision, there's no saving you.
That
Well, there's like
reminded
a
me. Oh, go ahead.
There's like a parallel in some of those points though, because it's like, because it's, I don't know, both of the movies have like that aspect, the self-destructive aspect, but then they also have like the idea that just grief manifests in different ways, and for some people it's alcohol, some
Yeah.
people it's pizza, you know.
Some people
Some
it's just
people-
being cool.
Gambling.
Yeah,
some,
Atticus.
some people it's being chill like that, you know.
why not
like-
me, Luke?
Well,
But
yours,
anyway-
yours is being sweet.
So the other
Oh,
thing that
thank
kind of
you.
reminded me
Sure.
of it is another movie it reminded me of was What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah. Well,
When
Right.
they had that mom. that
Just
was-
because there's a fatty in it, like.
Atticus, watch your tone and
just
language.
because,
Sorry.
just
Pause
because
for a
of-
second.
huh?
Did the pizza man do something? Because I walked out for a pee.
Did you not see that? Okay, sorry. Just a close loop on Dan. Dan's checking on him all this time, right? Then the last right before like the really intense binge that Charlie did, he goes out to get the pizza and Dan was waiting in the stairs to just check on him. But when
The
he
pizza
saw
guy.
him, the pizza guy Dan, when he saw Charlie, he was like, he looked like he ran away. First of all, he was awestruck. He said something like, "Oh Jesus" or something.
Yeah,
I can't
something like that.
remember.
Okay,
And
so
then
yeah, I
ran
probably
away
missed that.
from Charlie. And that's
Okay,
what sparked
maybe
Charlie's-
he's not a real one.
Yeah, that's
Zero
why
chill.
we're saying he's not a real
But
one.
so my comparison to What's Eating Gilbert Grape has nothing to do with. I mean, it's just that here these people that I mean, and it's almost like mimicked in each movie.
Mm.
Where and in Gilbert Grape, it's so beautiful because the mom says, "I haven't always looked like that," and the other gal says, "Well, I haven't always looked like this," and
Yeah.
Charlie says the same thing. I haven't always been this big or something like that, And it's like we haven't always been like we are. And I think it's an important lesson to like understand within ourselves. And I think and that's why it made me immediately think of both movies or that Gilbert Grape.
Mhm.
We haven't always been who we are. We always are changing.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was that part for me was very poignant. And the connection for both of those movies.
Yeah.
I also don't get why y'all don't like Ellie.
Tell me more about what you found endearing about her.
Batchy.
I didn't find anything necessarily endearing about her, but she was obviously dealing with a
She's
lot of shit.
industrious, you know.
Yeah, I think she was perfectly, yeah, industrious.
Look, Kuskus,
Reed.
give me a
I
high
was
five.
I was trying to find something.
That was a good one. Industry.
I like, you can say a lot. I mean, I don't want to compare it to Hitler, but I'm going to because it's like,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
but it's just like it. Sure, you can have had shitty parents or shitty upbringing. It's not an excuse to cause other people pain. And what broke my heart so badly is that I firmly believed she sent that information to the missionaries' parents and church to try to fuck him up and ruin
Yeah.
his life, not to help him. And it was Charlie had to believe that it was to help him,
Yes.
that like to give himself closure, but that was what was part of what was breaking my
Yeah.
heart. Like she was just trying to stir shit up. She was not trying to get him home.
Yeah.
I almost I thought, yeah, I definitely thought she was being a dick, and I thought that it was similar to like Charlie going into the light at the end. Oh no, we lost Dad.
Oh my
But
God.
I thought that was like a joke about how God works in mysterious ways because of
Yeah,
how
God is an
it
interesting.
worked. It worked
Yeah.
so the opposite of how she planned it to.
Yes.
But I don't think that was the case. That's just
Yeah.
Did y'all get a pro-Christian vibe from this or an anti-Christian vibe from this movie?
I got
I thought it was
no
satirical.
God thing, like a theme of God and just
Or
yeah,
pro-God?
I very much what I took away from it was like God doesn't really care if you're part of this random cult or if you're Catholic or if you don't believe in him or not. Like
Yeah.
it's more about your relationship to the idea of God and how that influences your life more than
Yeah. I didn't get a
to,
pro or a con. I think excuse me, sorry.
oh
I
yeah,
think
no.
the whole concept of the missionary and all this and that and the other was very apropos because it had to connect the
That
boyfriend
breathing,
that died to
Alan.
to Alan, to to Charlie, and to so it was a loop that was going on. So
Yeah.
I mean, and so let me throw this out here. If you guys don't know this was a play first.
I saw that at the end and
So
I
I
thought,
see
oh
that
my
then as
God,
well.
I would just
so
kill
if
to
you
see it
could
as a
imagine, yeah, they could. This is probably one of those plays that they would consider to be too personal. If it's done like that on the stage, I don't think most people could watch it. I mean, I don't think people could. Yeah, it's too personal.
well, and
So
there's something about it for me was n- something that made it easier to watch for me was that knowing that Brendan Fraser's body doesn't really look like that. And I had to like think to myself a little bit because even when he was asking, I can't remember the missionary's name. I'm sorry. But when he's like, "Do you think I'm disgusting? Do you find me repulsive?" And it's like, what would I say in that moment? Because I feel like I might be, but I feel so awful about that. And it's blessed.
Thomas,
Well, that's when you just be truthful. You'd be like, from an appearance standpoint, yes, But
You could say that to somebody?
oh, I mean, but I would follow it up with the following like
Oh, okay,
statement.
sure.
I would be like, hey, from an appearance standpoint, yes, you go against what my biology is telling me is okay, right? But on the inside, I know you're still a person. I know you still have value. All that other, like,
Yeah.
and then it
It's
No,
doesn't really
I,
matter what your
hard.
appearance is.
you know what? It's interesting because in my line of work, I have kids that I take care of that
You
most
think are
people.
disgusting?
What's that?
I said that you think are disgusting?
No, no, no,
Oh.
no, not at all. I think that other people would not want to interact with,
Oh.
and because of how they look or how they act and all that. And I
Mhm.
go in there and I talk to them like I've known them my whole life, and I call them by their name and I give them a nickname and hey Bubby, how you doing? What's going on? It's good to
Hmm.
see you again and this and that. And I talk to them the whole time. And it's so sad because there are some people that go in and never they they don't say anything to them
They
because
don't treat them as people?
right. And
Yeah, I think it's important.
it's so sad because I mean they go in and do their job, but they don't
Mhm.
interact with them. And maybe it's because as a respiratory therapist, I'm in there for, more
Longer.
than just 5 minutes, you know. But it's so, I mean, I see them as individuals, and not just as somebody to check off my list. So
Yeah.
and it's hard. It's hard for some folks. I can get that. I can get that you don't want to acknowledge the problems that somebody might have, like Charlie,
Mm.
and so it's tough. Yeah, I mean, I get the whole part of that story. I mean, I get that whole loop, that whole arc of the story.
It's
So
like as you were talking, I feel like I had this realization almost. It's like each character in this movie had their own form of armor that they
yeah,
were using to protect themselves from their fear. And so it's like with Charlie, it's his eating, it's his weight. He created a physical armor between him and the rest of the world. And then with Ellie, it's her like cruelty. It's her sharp tongue. It's acting out. It's being mean. It's like trying to fuck with people so that
yeah.
they feel disoriented because she's not felt in control. It seems with Ellie's mom, like what was her name? Gosh. For her, it's like her drinking, and she's mean too. I don't know if y'all know that.
Mary,
She was
Mary. And
not nice.
anytime it started to get sentimental, she would pick a fight. Like she couldn't go to her sad emotions. She could
yeah.
only access anger. Liz, and then of course Thomas was like religion. But then Liz, I'm trying to think, her armor might be nurturing, but also no, like what is hers? Like hers,
I,
I'm
I'm sorry. I still have my hardest thing to comprehend in this story is Liz and why she wanted to. I mean, basically enabled him to kill himself.
I don't know how
Dad,
to
you telling me you wouldn't feed me if I was 600 pounds?
No,
because
You would just let me sit there and suffer?
I would tie your ass down and duct tape your mouth and feed you intravenously
I'm pretty sure
until.
that's a crime, no?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's a crime
it's
to it's a crime to kill somebody too, which is
yeah.
what she knew she was doing.
No. But
Oh no, she knew what she was doing.
yeah, but I don't know how to explain it. I understand her more than anybody else in this movie. It's really hard. I
Unless you get
would
to the
struggle.
spiritual, huh?
I would struggle if it
Oh,
was you or somebody here, like, and I was taking care of you, and all you wanted, you were so miserable, you didn't have anything in your life, and the only time I saw you experience joy was when I gave you food. I would be giving you food.
but he wasn't experiencing joy when he ate.
Yes, he was. Are you kidding me? You didn't see
No.
like the look in his eye and like what would come over him when he would see the food that she had for him, or it's brief, but those were like these small pockets.
But is it so that, I mean, here's the only thing that, I mean, as we're talking, that maybe I'm kind of coming to putting pieces together. She knows that he wants to die, so she's going to help him die because he wants to die so he can be with Alan. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
No?
I
Yeah.
feel so I don't think she wants him to die. I think it's really hard to be the sole caretaker of somebody who you see grieving so much. And if the one thing that they like ask of you or ever ask for is food, it'd be really hard to not give that to them.
Yeah, but he already had somebody giving him food. He had a delivery guy. He didn't need her to give him the food.
She reminds him when she's with him, keeps her connected to her brother. If she starts to put her foot down and is telling him, "Well, I'm not going to give you anything," who knows how that turns out?
I
Maybe
get
there's
it. I
something
get
in
it.
her head, but I don't. But you don't, right? Like, which is okay. But for me, I think it just pulls on people's personal experience, and you are very much like, I'm not going to enable, so I'll just walk away and you handle this however you handle it. And I'm like, hey, how do I
No,
get into this situation?
no,
And
no,
then
no. It's not a personal thing.
handle it.
I'm just trying to understand the story arc. I'm trying to understand. So you know, in a play, even that. So you know, Eliza, is that every character in a play and every line is supposed to move the story along.
Well, you added
That's why.
he was an ensemble.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
But that's
It
why
checks
you
out.
have. But you see what happened. And
Yeah.
that's why the pizza guy was there. That's why Dan was there. That one little brief moment, even though he comes in and says hello, goodbye, then that
Yeah.
character is pushing that storyline along, and we see why. I don't, and I'm trying to figure out how she's pushing the story along, and
Well,
I still don't get
Well,
it.
she completes the narrative of he won't get help, right? She's the one
yeah.
giving him all the signs saying, "Hey, you need help."
And how many times do we think
But
she
she's
said
also
this?
giving him meatball subs and Heimlich.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's
I
giving them
just,
the Heimlich.
I think
That's
there's
not
a
helping.
disconnect for you somehow I feel like she's integral to the plot. I feel like she
Oh,
was
absolutely. There's no question.
served so many purposes. So she really moves the forward along, like
No,
the story along
no questions. You're
more than
asking
any
all the
other.
questions.
No, I'm just
That's what
trying
I'm
to.
saying.
I'm trying to
Possible.
understand.
And
In
you gain understanding through questions, so you're making contradictory statements that don't
What-
make sense.
how does she? Why does she do it?
Why?
because she
Eliza's
wants to be a part
pathetic.
of his life, and that's a
Yeah.
way to be.
Okay, if
Drama.
that's the drama.
I
But
don't know. That part it's so interesting because that just didn't stump me at all.
it stumps me totally that she's taking his blood pressure. You got to go to the doctor. Here's a meatball sub. I'll be around for a Heimlich later. And even the daughter is saying, "Yeah, I'm going to make you a sandwich, but I'm going to make it with turkey."
And she put Ambien in it. So really, is she the best example of somebody who's giving him food and helping more
Hey,
than
look.
Liz?
No, I'm not saying.
If I'm 600 pounds, put some Ambien
Wait, give
in
me some
that
Ambien,
sandwich.
baby. That'd be
Like,
all right.
toss some of that in there. Like,
But also, I just want to. So, like you're saying, what if Liz he can get food other ways? Well, Liz kept him alive a lot longer because if every person coming was Dan, like, what if this Dan thing had happened before? What if it's just she
Yeah.
needs him too, just as much as he needs her. And
Well, and that's the thing. I guess that's the thing. Maybe I don't get. Or I haven't fully kind of connected the dots.
like, why
That
does she keep going over there?
she needs him just as much as he needs her, and maybe that she's her last connection to her
Alan.
brother, and that's okay. I get that. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what I'm missing.
she
It's
could
just
also
like you talk.
genuinely like spending time with
They're
him.
friends.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
They're
it's,
like
They
best
clearly get
homies, actually.
on. You know, we're seeing them together. We're seeing friends in the last 5 days of someone's life. We're not seeing everything else that they've shared before that she clearly enjoys him.
There's no flashback to Liz. Yeah. Needed one of those.
What's up, Dad?
So was there a point, and we go to the theaters, you can't rewind. Was there a point when they said he'd be dead in 5 days?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why they said,
Very well, and when he's researching online, like when he's on
okay,
the computer and all that stuff, and she even says that again. She says it a couple of times. Like when she first comes over, she's like, if you don't go to the hospital, it's like
A matter of days.
matter of days. When he looks it up on the laptop and he's looking at like his blood pressure and all that, what does it mean? It's like call 911 right now. Like it's clear there. It's clear that he's. For me, it was clear that he's refusing care, and that means he's going to die. Like that.
Got it.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah, it's I think one of the most powerful scenes for me is when he is was it after Dance on that he just took all his pizza and put mayonnaise on it and just started eating. Yeah, it was just let me go. I just want to it's like I don't want to slip my wrists. I just want to die. I want to, it's
Are you for me too, so I'm a very emotional eater. It's been something that's like I was even telling Chuck earlier this week when I got like really anxious. I got stressed out, and before I knew it, it wasn't even conscious, but I was like halfway through this normal bowl of like pretzel sticks because it's like this thing that takes over, and you're looking for dopamine or something, right? Like when you're eating. So for me, when I was watching him do that, I wasn't seeing it as him trying to die faster. I was seeing it as like his coping mechanism. And this is what he does when he gets really distressed and upset. And like, it's an emotional thing. And then you do it and then you get sick and then you're full of shame. It's like this cycle. And I think that was a glimpse of what got him here. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about the filmmaking. What did you guys think of how much of Brendan Fraser's performance was him, prosthetics, and CGI?
I don't think any of it was CGI. No, I think pretty
really.
sure it was all.
I felt like when he was walking in the hallway without his shirt on, it was maybe a bit CGI. I don't know. Really? I do think when he started levitating into the light, that was CGI a bit.
Yeah. I don't think that was.
I have a question.
Tricks.
Also, follow up. One more tie to the story. Did anyone think it was a bit strange that instead of dying, he ascended into a whale god at the end?
What?
At the end, you heard the whale noise?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice the whale noise either.
I'll have to listen to that one rewatching. That's for sure.
I don't think I'll be
big splash.
Well, I think it's a statement about, when you die, it doesn't matter how much you weigh.
You're light as a feather.
Yeah, you're light as a feather. So.
Well, and do you think? Can I ask? Do you think he ever actually stood up?
Oh yeah, he had to have.
That end scene.
That the way when we're talking about the filmmaking, the way guys, quiet. The way it cut, like the intensity of that moment, and then just like the bright white light, like it destroyed me. Like,
so are you saying you don't think he got up? That he died sitting down?
Sure. I'd have to think about it when I rewatch, because remember when she first came over, that like when Ellie first came over, guys, in or out, make up your bleeping lines. Come on. Mom's doing a podcast. Get out. Go on. Will you just feed them dinner, baby? Thank you.
Not anymore.
She's out.
Sorry, I was just the dogs were
I'm just kidding.
But when Ellie was first over, and she's like, walk over here to me, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think he wanted to be able to do that. Do I know if he did that? I mean, I'm sure if you're dying, you could get a big rush of adrenaline and do something like that. I don't know. Not that it really matters, but
I think that's probably he knew that getting up and walking over to her was going to kill him. So.
Also, it meant the most to her, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. The amount of love he had for his daughter.
But that's the other thing. It was so weird. It was like, and that was the delusional concept of component of his story was that she kept, oh, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. She's an amazing person. But she wasn't. He didn't know her at all. And
Yeah.
that was all part of his facade of, I want to connect with her. And even when he was talking to the mom, what was the mom's name again?
Mary.
Mary. And she was like, "You don't even know her. Why are you thinking that? What do you mean? She's so beautiful. She's an amazing person."
She's not,
Yeah,
like I thought that was brutal and honest, and
right,
that's
right,
probably
right.
what it
It's
sounds
really
like
jacked.
that's probably what it sounds like to have a conversation about your teenage daughter. You know what I mean? Who's being like a total see you next Tuesday. But what's crazy too is like I've thought about like the things I've said to mom, and like I don't think I was maybe as hard on you, Dad. But I was awful. And like to think that that could be the final version somebody has of you as a teenager, and that's what made me so emotional at the end, because she's not amazing and she's not like,
Right.
but the hope I felt like he gave her by just being like, you're gonna have these experiences, you're gonna have these feelings. I think that's what made the end so like, oh my God, Ellie, please like listen to him, turn your life around, like you
Yeah,
can have a better life than what your father had.
yeah.
And I don't know, like something about her essay when she was young, and like when you find out it's her essay.
Well, and I think if he's holding on to that as being why she's so amazing and trying
Yeah.
to get her back to that, then I can see that. But
I
it's
honestly,
Yeah.
I don't. I think Charlie's character is seeing something that every other person misses with Ellie, and that
Yeah.
it's that you are perfect who you are, right? And
Mm.
sometimes you can be a piece of shit. It's okay to be a piece of shit because there is a different part of you, a more real person who's in there, you know?
Yeah. But you're right, Luke, because also it goes back to the thing of
I
like,
don't
I
know.
wasn't always like this. Like,
right.
this
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
always me. And
exactly.
Yes, yes.
Ellie can say years from now, say she grows up and she like and she is kind or all these things, she can be like, I wasn't always like this. Like it
Yeah.
works both ways. And I don't know, I don't know, it really got me.
I don't know what I watched recently, but there was something where it was like there was a character that turned out to be different at the end than they were at the beginning. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, I didn't, how would that person be that person? And that's the beautiful thing about life is that we all change,
It's the most beautiful part about life, and it's the most heartbreaking part of life, I think.
that we change.
Not everybody changes for the better, and life doesn't always
Oh,
change for
well, okay. Oh, okay.
Did anyone else also have the thought of this entire movie? Remember when he reads the essay, he says, "Is the author's trying to save us from their own sad story?"
the
Yes.
I kept thinking about like what the creator of
Yeah.
the whale was trying to portray with the movie the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah, because like I think obvious like the thing we're distracted by is the physicality
Yeah.
of Charlie.
Well, if you,
And
go ahead.
I'm just thinking so much loss and pain. Like if you're just thinking about, you're married and then you fall in love with someone else and he ends up committing suicide. And so now, but you had left your wife and your
Threw
daughter,
everything away. Yeah,
chosen this man who you loved, and now he's gone, and now you don't have him, you don't have your daughter, you don't have your wife. Like it's really sad if you pack all of that into one thing.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of it is like, I don't know.
Well,
Do you
if you
guys
ever, I don't know if you haven't read Moby Dick, you should read it because it's an amazing book.
give us
But
so many recommendations? How are we ever going to keep up with all these things?
right,
I mean, I feel like Moby Dick is one that a lot of people have under their belt, in all
yeah,
fairness.
okay. But I think it's that whole thing where you're trying to go after something that obsesses you. And that's the whale. It's you're going after something that you don't know really until you understand. You know,
Yeah.
the whale for him is not the essay; it's getting back to Alan,
Oh my God,
and
no, no. I think the whale
and
for him.
he has to fight that battle, that horrible battle that he has to get there.
Oh, interesting. I had interpreted
It's a
it.
death. Death is for him. The whale is the death
Oh, I
because
thought,
that was Ahab. That was Ahab's story. Ahab knew he was going to die. Well, Ahab in
spoiler alert, read the
Morning
book. Here's
Moby
what
Dick, but Ahab knew he was going to die. He knew
yeah.
that was the whole reason he was going through all this shit. And that's what the whale is. I mean, if you juxtapose the two stories,
Huh.
but anyway,
I thought the whale was him making amends with Ellie because it says like killing the whale isn't going to solve any of that anyways.
Hmm.
Remember when he's getting into bed and he's like reading her essay and it talks about it's like the thing is like it could be
maybe.
death or whatever, but I remember that stuck out to me in this thing of like what he doesn't realize is killing the whale isn't going to solve. It doesn't take away all the pain,
Yeah.
whatever. But I guess I can see your thing too. I don't know. It's so hard.
Well, if you don't, I mean, that's the way I'm taking it. If I juxtapose the two stories, but
Yeah, I guess I
so
don't know enough about Atticus Luke. Like when you were thinking, clearly there's a metaphor, right, of the whale.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Were
don't.
you leaning
Yeah,
anyways?
I don't know.
I
I think. Go ahead, Luke.
oh, I was just trying to figure out the whole time what the whale was going to be, right? And I honestly don't know still. I don't know if his whale is like reconnecting with his daughter. I don't know if his whale is dying, right? Like Dad said. I think it was more closely reconnecting with his daughter. Maybe it's like
I
I
don't.
have to reconnect with my daughter before I die.
all right. Like I said, I was just
See
juxtaposing
both.
the two stories,
I
but
could definitely see both because, like, now that you're bringing it up, Dad, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's like a whole other lens. Atticus, did you have anything? I mean,
I think the whale is Charlie's experience as a whole. I don't think it's one linear goal that he had in his mind. Like I don't think that
yeah,
it's a box to be checked off on like a laundry list. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
think the whale is the human condition as Charlie experienced it, you know,
interesting.
and it's all of those things culminating together and coping with your own mortality
Yeah,
and dealing with your fears of rejection and like and trauma and
yeah,
pain, and then also trying to find a way to deal with not having the person that you want to be with the most around you. Like I like so I and connecting with your child and dealing with the regret and like all that other stuff, you know. And so
I think that that's probably one of the hardest thing for people to understand in this movie is that given all the medical information that's been given,
hmm,
he knew he was going to die. There's no question.
right.
And how, I mean, when? That's the whole thing. When was he going to actually eat himself to death? And it's going to happen through natural congestive heart failure. Is that your heart can't pump enough blood to maintain what's going through your body. It all gets congested in your heart.
And
So
you
there's more blood on the right side than there is on the left side. Sorry if I forget the physics or the biology of it. But so it all pulls up on one side and it's trying to get through. And what happens is that your heart is, of course, giving blood to the lungs and taking all your CO2 and oxygen. And so he knows it's going to happen. And it's the fact that he chose to die that way. It's not a good way. I mean, you saw in the movie how there were times when he was in extreme pain, and that didn't come from eating or being overweight. It came from basically probably having many heart attacks, like tiny heart attacks, like not a lot. But
Yeah.
so you do that instead of slitting your wrists. I mean, that's a jacked up.
Shitty way to go.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's like you don't
Yeah,
want to.
give me like the Richie special, man. Before that, any day of the week,
What's a
like
fucking Richie special?
oh, Richie Tenenbaum does in Royal
Oh,
Tenenbaums.
Oh
Like
God. No, do
I'd
not.
take that over like a slow,
yeah, but it didn't work.
painful. Yeah, well, I mean, I would send Dudley out for some milk.
I want my death to be slow and painful.
I love the part.
Piranhas.
I love the part in Royal Tenenbaums when Margot comes in and she goes to Dudley and she goes, "Where is he?" And he goes,
Who?
"Who?" The guy is just trying to kill himself.
Yeah. I
Uh,
I do. So when you're describing like what happens in congestive heart failure, it's like his heart's broken. He's dying of a broken
no, he can't. His heart cannot keep up with the amount of blood that it's trying to push because of the blood pressure is so high. His arteries are probably clogged. You know, he's got uh, and it's just that he's so big that he can't. His heart cannot do it anymore.
It sounds broken
Yeah,
to me.
that sounds like a broken heart to me, and it sounds like it's
Oh,
a
I get
metaphor,
what you're saying. Yes,
a
yes,
metaphor
he
for
dies of a.
him. And so for me, that's the right way. That's how he's. What's killing him? Yeah,
I
there we
see
go.
it. I see it now.
I'm like, what's killing him is his grief and his loss of
Yeah.
Alan.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what's
Yeah.
killing
Yes.
him, and it's
Yes.
taken a really long time. And that's why he's not intervening. That's
Yes.
why he's not doing something different. It's because that truly is what is killing him. And I feel like there's a part of it too. He's punishing himself. Like
Yes.
he does not want an easy way out. He's punishing himself. I think he blames himself a lot for Alan dying. And what's interesting is like the bird is Alan, yeah?
Mm.
The bird
I
who's
don't.
coming through the window.
Yeah.
What is that? What was
I
that?
don't.
I don't know. Hey, you guys, I'm really sorry to do this. I just we have a dinner at 6:15 that I have to go to.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So I just have to
you're
sign.
not
I
too
just
far
have to
away,
sign up
but
in the next. I'm just giving you guys a sorry. I'm
you're giving the
sorry.
wrong group a heads up, Atticus. It's my movie this week. You text them
Well,
and you tell them you're going to be
Damn
late.
it. Okay. No, son, that's fine.
I'm just kidding,
I'll be
buddy. Thank
supportive.
you.
I
Thank you for
don't eat
going to the
yourself to death,
movies.
please.
Thank you for your perspective.
Yes. Okay.
Just try to eat a healthy amount.
yeah, I'm not. I won't put mayonnaise on anything.
Okay, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. So do
I
you.
can't actually promise that.
Oh well,
Okay.
all right. I love you, buddy.
Okay.
Well, I'm not signing off now. I'm just trying to get.
Sorry.
Dad.
Oh, wait. Oh, what happened? I thought he was.
Ah!
I was met with a lot more hostility than I was.
So, okay. So let's start.
guys.
This is the this is going to be a this is going to be a modified review. What about where would you rank Brandon Fraser's performance? Like 1 to
10.
10? 10?
It was a 10
I'll
for
give
me.
it A tier.
I give it 8.5, close to a 9, 8.75. It was pretty good.
Close to S tier, but just A
Atticus,
tier.
what about you?
I think it was I think it was a 10. I mean, it's just like it's I don't know. Everyone's always talking about how good of an actor Daniel Day-Lewis is, but I've never seen him in a fat suit. So
Well, and I don't enjoy watching Daniel Day-Lewis ever. I can't even tell you one picture where I was like, I
he's
love
too intense. There Will Be Blood is pretty good.
There Will Be Blood. It was fantastic.
Well, I've never seen that.
In the
so
Name of
maybe
the Father, My Left Foot. You got a lot of movies to watch, but
let's stop.
it's like an 8.75 for me. I thought it was good, and it's unfortunate because I think part of it was the prosthetics and the CGI.
I mean, if I'm comparing The last actor I saw in prosthetics to make them look very heavy, which was Tom Hanks and Elvis. This is considerably
This is a
better.
dub.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
this is like a
just saying.
slam dunk.
Like,
I would almost say jackpot at the casino.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Atticus, real quick, because you've got to leave it in 3 minutes. Real quick. How many, like 1 out of 10,
Thumbs
whatever.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
I really loved the movie. I give it 2
Yeah.
thumbs up. I'm holding my laptop, so I can't give it 2.
I feel the
So
other one. Thank
I'll
you.
give it a little thingy gun.
Oh,
I really liked it. I don't think I'll see it again for a while, though.
yeah, that's fair.
It was a lot. Like,
Hard
it
to
was
watch.
really good. One thing that I would like to touch on was the cinematography. It was amazing what they did to make it feel like a play, and so much happened inside of that apartment.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like exclusively the apartment.
I got the vibe of a stage show. So like I didn't know that it was a stage show prior to going into it. And then when I was doing like a little bit of note taking coming into the thing, I was like, oh, of course. Like, totally. You know.
And there are only like 6 characters, 5 or 6 characters in the whole play or in the whole movie, which is pretty crazy.
One thing that I am very glad that they didn't do was try and do any of the like fake one take stuff, because I could see that being very tempting in this space and for this subject matter. I'm glad that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of seeing it.
Yeah. Because you bring up such a good point about the cinematography, and what you made me think of was when Ellie's over and she's purposefully walking behind him, and how he's like those shots of Charlie trying to see her and turn around, but he's so immobilized, were so powerful. And I think that you are hitting on something that made it feel so immersive, which was that cinematography and the blocking. Like, it just
it was very good,
so good
and effective in a subtle way that if you're not looking for those kinds of things, you don't get it. You don't get the fact that how that camera would go like this when she was walking, and he was like, and you realize, fuck, he can't turn around, and she's totally in control. It's a total control kind of, So good point, Couscous.
Good point.
So in y'all's theater, how many people were there?
There were fewer people in the theater than there were actors in the movie. I'll put it
that
way. Mine had a pretty sizable group.
Really?
Did you really?
Really? Wow.
But at the end, everyone was crying. It was crazy.
Everybody.
Oh, I'm sure.
You could hear. Well, as MD,
there wasn't a dry seat in the house.
It wasn't a dry seat in the house.
I
pissed myself.
The ladies are horny for Charlie.
Oh man. Oh god.
But yeah, when Lola and I went to a theater that's like it's like the multiplex here, and we got there and there were so many people and we were like, oh no, this is gonna be a crowded one, and then we get there and it was all for Avatar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was everybody?
There was like wasn't a single person there for the whale, and the whale had like 2 times, and Avatar was running like every 3.5 minutes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's still a bop. That's all I'm saying.
It's Missouri. It was really good. Have you guys seen it?
Avatar 2?
Yeah.
Not yet.
You saw it? When'd you see it?
I just saw it like really recently. Like a week
You went
ago.
to that instead of the whale.
No, I never saw the whale. Yeah.
It's like the whale part 2.
I said Lola to the whales. Like,
said exactly. Like, sum it up. Give me the gist.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'll tell him I fell asleep.
All right. So I'll give it a thumbs up and a half. Almost 2 thumbs up. Not 2 thumbs up, but a thumbs up and a half.
Do you guys think it'll win an Oscar?
I think it'll win a few.
So here we go. Here we go with, because if you'll notice, the name of movie club is
the what?
Oh, the what? The what? The what? Oh, fuck. The Whale and a little bit of the Banshees. If you have not seen that movie, Banshees of Inisherin.
Well, Dad, your pick is next.
I'm not watching that. We're watching something different. But that's a great movie. I mean, I'm putting it in the great movie category.
It is really great, and I would
It
really
is so good.
Where?
Atticus,
And-
you have to go.
Yeah, in like a couple of minutes. But
Okay.
what's the movie for next time, Dad? So
Yeah,
I
what's the
know.
movie?
So I know what it is.
Uh,
Bagger Vance.
so the movie for next time, first of all, is gotta. I'm gonna ask: have you seen Harold and Maude?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay, well, we're not gonna do that one.
Been a long time though.
We're
Harold
gonna
and Maude.
do shit.
Been a while. Do you want to just think about it for a second? Let's not pressure Dad into making any decisions.
Yeah, I'll
about-
get another Winslow boy.
Paprika.
Winslow Boys too.
What about the
Even Felix.
the crying game? How many of you have seen the crying
I've
game?
seen the
I've never
crying
seen
game.
that.
God
Oh,
damn
it's
it.
so good.
We're gonna do.
I win.
We're gonna do.
From the century.
Let's get an air date of 2000 and something.
Paprika.
Yeah, let's do Paprika. Yeah, I'll
What's
do that.
Paprika?
Let's do that because I'd like
Paprika
to
is
watch
so
that.
good.
Okay.
I have been. We need to watch that. That's
Okay.
good. I like.
I
that.
just know you've been talking about wanting to see it, so I
Yeah.
was just like, let's guide him
Do I
to
have to
a
go?
movie
Well,
that
we
I
watched-
know.
Yeah. So
1991. Sorry.
sorry, it can't be. No Country for Old Men. Then.
Okay.
Yeah,
Two
let's
thou-
do.
two thou-
Old man.
Year 2000.
Let's
No
do.
Yeah,
Country for Old Men.
No Country
Let's
for
do it.
Old Men.
Okay.
If
So
you-
good.
I mean,
2007. We're good.
okay. So
Woo!
I will tell you this. This is the movie that borderlines. I know you guys don't like it, but this borderlines on comparable to The Godfather and Lawrence of Arabia. This, in my opinion, is one of the greatest movies ever made. I mean,
Oh,
it's
No
nice.
like
I'm so
Country
excited.
The hype,
Bruce
the
Lando.
hype meter is through the roof.
boop, 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 boop. So,
Well, I fucking love
It's
Javier
No Country for Old
Bardem.
Men. Yeah, who doesn't?
so you won't after this movie.
No Country
Oh, is
for
this the one with
Bruce
All right.
the big Bob haircut?
Yeah, the Dora the Explorer haircut.
Oh man, Atticus, I love you. Have fun
I love you
tonight.
guys.
Bye-bye. I love you
too.
too.
Later.
Thank you for going to the movies for me.
Anytime. Well,
Okay.
actually, not anytime. It was.
Anyone notice Dad had a roach in his movie theater?
Yeah, that movie theater.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
that
like,
was
oh,
spooky.
go to the movies. They said it'd be fun. They said, and there was
And
a
then you
roach.
got
Then I was
roached.
with the-
All right.
Oh god.
okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Love Lola
Bye.
too.
bye. Love you. All right, that's it for this week. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you next.
Well,
next.
do you want to talk about Banshees? Sorry,
Oh yes,
Luke.
Oh.
And please keep hanging out with us, Lukey Luke.
please.
Please, please,
I
Luke.
can't. I'm
please.
sorry. Peace. Later.
Oh,
What
kidding.
the
I'm just
hell?
kidding. I'm just
Tried.
kidding. No, I'm still
No
here.
offense, Eliza.
I haven't even said I was gonna leave.
I know, but I just didn't know if you
That
were.
movie was. I mean, watching it again, it was. I think almost borderlines on a.
It's almost a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's so funny to think that I texted you, Luke, you've got to watch it. You really have got to. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous. It feels like you're reading a short story.
Yes.
And it feels like you're also kind of reading a parable, but it's real life. And
I'm sorry.
what?
In my opinion,
Do you think it's better than The Whale?
oh, not even close.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I think for me, I'm watching it and I get so upset about how Colin Farrell does.
Wait.
Huh?
You gonna spoil this movie for me?
Oh, well, maybe you should get off.
I'll
Later.
go watch it right now. I'll watch it at 3
Wait.
times speed, and I'll be done in 30
I
minutes.
have some more. Can we 1 second? Because I have a few more things I wanted to talk about with The Whale.
Yes.
Go for it.
So the plate outside, I was
Yes.
thinking, why did Ellie look at that and like at first I was like, oh, she thinks it's endearing that he is feeding a bird. But I think it's once I noticed that it was broken, first of all, I think she broke it.
Of course you
Second
did.
of all,
Bet
it
you-
was a lighthouse. I think it was a souvenir from the beach trip to the Oregon coast.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Interesting.
And
I
that
didn't see
could be
that
why it
either.
was broken. Right on. I get that. Okay.
Yeah. But then the reason I think that Alan was the bird, or there's some symbolism there, is because when they open the bedroom that they used to share, there's a painting. Like you see the Bible, but then on the wall, like between the door and the Bible, is a painting of these two birds that look like they could be the same bird that's coming to visit. And they're like looking at each other on this branch. And I just thought the bird has to be something to do with Alan, especially he jumped from a bridge, like the thought of flying. I don't know. There's something there that I'm not totally getting, but
Yeah.
there's something there worth further.
Well, we have to watch it again, I guess. I mean, maybe it's one of those movies. I wouldn't quite put it in the category of irreversible in terms of there's no way I want to watch this again.
Mm-hmm.
But I do because there's some things, the details I don't get. But that was Banshees. Banshees. I'm so glad I watched it again.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
So it sounds like it's even better the second time.
Oh, even better. Oh,
Luke, I texted Dad when I was watching it the first time. I'm trying to think, how far into that movie was I?
Lisa says her too, even though she hated it.
She likes it better now?
Oh no, she still hates it, I think.
Oh. I texted Dad, Luke, like probably an hour into the movie. I was like, is this gonna get any better? Because it was like I was bored. And then all of a sudden by the end of the movie, I'm like, what did I just see? That was near perfection. I don't know. And
I know. It's like, so this is the kind of movie that stupid dog, what was it? Mountain of the Dog or
Isle of Dogs?
Oh, Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog. That's what this one
it wanted to be Banshees.
Yes.
That's what it was trying to accomplish.
It's a beautiful movie. It just starts off. Banshee starts off with that beautiful scene over the orchards, and not the orchards, but the fields. And
in
then
Ireland.
And it's just like simple. Hey, Colin, you coming? About
and earlier you were saying what devastated you was Colin Farrell's character.
Just how devastating. So, and I tell Lisa this, and is like my buddy in Oregon, Jay, if he had said, "Hey, I don't want you to text me anymore,"
and that's not a spoiler, Luke. That happens in like
I'm like, what do you mean?
15 minutes.
Well, why? I would be. I mean, it was like, what is that? Hey,
I just don't like you anymore.
Right. I would like, what the fuck? I mean, that would be terrible.
I'd rather have done something and messed up, because you can repair that. You can't repair somebody
just not wanting to be
you anymore. It's so heartbreaking, and it's like, and I think I was when I talked about it last week with you guys, it was like the movie broke my heart and put it back together so many times in so many different ways. And I can see myself on, like, my compassion and my alliance kept flipping.
Yeah. Anyway, if we're trying not to spoiler alert Luke, then
I don't want to spoiler alert Luke, because I really want.
We're going to end recording so we don't.
To all of our fans, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. All 17.
Love you, fans.
We love you guys.